comes to Hollywood. From the grit of the streets with competitive basketball courts in the hood, we meet teenage boys competing for a chance to use their hard-earned hoop skills and street smarts as they try out for a life-changing chance to come to the dream capital of the world, Hollywood. There they can win a role in the motion picture that tells the story of an at-risk teen just like them. Both the documentary, Home Dream Team, and the movie Taking It Back are being produced with the established cooperation of the Police Activities League, the Stony Hill League of Philadelphia, and the NBA.
John Wooden's famous championship dynasty at UCLA. But the Bruins have had only one national title in women's basketball. Came back in 1978 when they were led by Ann Myers and Anita Ortega. Ironically, perhaps, the All-America guard who paced that squad in steals went on to pursue a career in law enforcement. And as we see in this Where Are They Now update, Captain Ortega, not only the commanding officer of the juvenile division of the LAPD, she's also the inspiration for the John Curie novel, Taking It Back.
I grew up in South Central LA. My mom is African American, my father is Puerto Rican, I have a younger brother and sister, and we grew up near USC at 22nd and Hoover and lived in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment from the age of 8 to 22. The area really wasn't as safe as it could be, and somehow I found a basketball, and that was my escape. I was the only female, and it was very difficult for me to convince the guys to let me play.
And these guys are going to be tough. I mean, really tough on a woman especially. And she took all of her bruises and, you know, what have you, and she just stayed in there and kept playing and kept fighting, and she learned the game from the ground up.
If I didn't step up and take control and step up and drive to the basket or take a shot in someone's face, you know, I would have no respect.
You know, we didn't take it easy on her, but just her discipline and, you know, she's very, very competitive. And I think that's, you know, served her well, particularly, you know, in law enforcement, her career with LAPD.
Tobin Park, wow. This is where Anita became Anita on the basketball court.
Her 6th grade teacher had gone to UCLA, was a Bruin. And Anita, 6th grade, didn't know anything about UCLA. She didn't know about Bruins. She didn't even know what college was. And she used to pass this teacher's blue Volkswagen every day going into class, and she saw the sticker on the back bumper saying the Bruins, and she didn't know what it was. And finally one day she said to her teacher, what does that mean? And the teacher looked at her and said, well, that's UCLA, the Bruins. That's where I went to school. And you, Anita, you can go to that school, and if you go to that school, you can do anything you want. And when you stop and think about that, maybe it's that conversation, 6th grade, that sparked the whole thing.
I believe that athletics really was a savior for me. It was an outlet for me. It was an escape for me. Some of the things that I encountered as a kid, growing up in a neighborhood where I know friends that have died, and it's very, very sad, and there was a way for me to escape from what I was seeing.
Now, back in the late 1960s, Mike Warren played on UCLA's national championship team before playing a police officer on the groundbreaking television series Hill Street Blues. And more recently, Shaquille O'Neal has actually been sworn in as a member of the police station at Miami Beach. But with Captain Ortega, it's not about basketball at this point, is it?
No, it's really not, Trey. She may have averaged 16 points when she was a star at UCLA. She may have been an All-American, but she's saving the lives of 16-year-olds now in this day and age. And she's really had an incredible impact on young people because of not only the basketball player that she was, but all of the wonderful things that she brings to society now.
Another example of what you can do after you're playing.
National PAL is supporting efforts to film a movie that will show the effect PAL boxing has had on youth from Fort Pierce, Florida PAL. First Pick provides consulting and strategic services to National PAL. The National PAL Board of Directors hired First Pick in 2009. They assisted in the development, writing, and submission of grants through federal sources. First Pick played a major role in National PAL applying for the National Mentoring Grant and the Recovery Act National Mentoring Grant. National PAL scored well on both. US DOJ awarded National PAL $3.7 million. The recipient could only receive one of the 2 applications. First Pick also partnered with National PAL on 2 grants they received, which resulted in National PAL receiving over $100,000 for 2 years. The Recovery Act Mentoring Grant. There were only 4 recipients nationally out of the over 2,000 applicants, which one was National PAL. This grant provided 135 chapters with $24,670 each to hire a part-time mentoring coordinator and provided program funds. A national training was held in Baltimore with over 150 participants. Welcome to the National PAL social website. This is the home page where you could see there'll be members' pictures listed, a place to become a member, and a place to log in as a member. There's also a resource page where you can find the PAL webinar national resources if someone watched a webinar and needed some additional information. An About Us page, which is about the website designers. A contact page, if they'd like to contact National PAL about something on the website or sponsorship. I'm going to go back to the home page. Here's where you'll click your city, where your PAL is located, and begin. This is the spot where your local PAL will be able to sell sponsorships, where they will receive 70% of the $1,000 that the sponsorship is sold for. The other 30% will go to National PAL to support the website. They can view the weekly show, view past shows, or enter into the local networking site. Here's the actual networking page. They'll have their profile information, photos, friends, blogs, comments. You could send messages, add friends, forward to friends, block anybody, add to favor, or rank a user. And then here is also the sponsors down the side. They can add their top friends and have comments from other people. That'll end our tour.
Do you feel like you can talk to your parents or adults about your problems? Are you frustrated because it feels like they aren't listening or don't understand? Do you feel like your voice is not being heard? Welcome to a show dedicated to hearing your voice, expressing your daily existence, and introducing your parents and other adults to a better understanding of you and your world. This show is also committed to introducing parents to the problems their youth are facing and how to open up